Hello and welcome to another player preview. Today we have Josh Hart of the New York Knicks, the heart and soul of the team. If you're new here, we're doing a player preview series for every single New York Knicks. This is Chris and I, second season doing this. Josh Hart, Chris, 2025-2026 season, the heart and soul of the team. Excited to get into him, excited to talk about him.
Yeah, Josh Hart, man. I felt
Joshy.
similar to Mikal Bridges, right? A very polarizing player on the New York Knicks for both good and bad reasons. We'll get into that, but yeah, Josh Hart, man. Look, there's no doubt that he is the heart and soul of this team, pun intended. You know, he's simply just a guy who's going to go out there and give you everything he's got defensively and offensively as well, you know? But like I mentioned, there were some ups and downs when it came to Josh Hart. And yeah, going into this new season, not knowing if he's going to be a starter, is he going to come off the bench? You know, lots of questions, kind of surrounding Josh Hart.
Lots of questions. Josh Hart was mainly a starter for the New York Knicks last season. A Tom Thibodeau favorite, by the way. Chris mentioned that a little bit. There were times where he played too many minutes, and we'll get into that a little bit. But 33% from three, Chris. Not really a great three-point shooter. Obviously, it's far-fetched from when the Knicks acquired him, and he shot 50% from three, which was just absolutely insane. But relentless rebounder, defensive bulldog, emotional spark, embodies the city, embodies everything the New York Knicks are about. Routinely logged marathon minutes. Sometimes playing the entire half, sometimes playing the entire second half without a breather. Iron Man, workload, playoff moments, clutch in the playoffs too. Can't forget that.
Yeah.
But it's also a concern that he has some spacing issues when Hart is on the floor with multiple non-shooters or shooters on the court. And it was apparent middle of the season where the teams just stopped guarding him. And they just threw their centers at him. And that's when I think the Knicks offense kind of took a dip. And you're sitting here like, okay, new coach. Dibs is gone. Dibs loved Hart, as he should. Played him way too many minutes. Your bench is deeper. Does he start? If he doesn't, he's coming in off the bench with possibly Brogdon or Shaman or Clarkson and Deuce. There's some guys there, but the main question in training camp is, does Mike Brown start Josh Hart? Because if he does, and a lot of Knicks fans will be upset, but if he does, Chris, I'll understand it, but I don't think it'll be a long-term answer. I don't. I think ultimately you brought Josh in here to be the anchor off the bench, kind of the jack of all trades coming off the bench, the glue guy.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best role for him. Yeah.
I agree. That is the best role for him. And it's going to be interesting to see, whether Mike Brown decides, hey, we're going to put Mitch in the starting lineup alongside with Cat, and maybe that leaves Josh Hart as the odd man out in that situation. Yeah. Or if he just goes, look, I'll give it a shot the way it was prior to me coming here. Josh Hart, you're going to be a starter. Let's see how it goes. Maybe Mike Brown finds a wrinkle in a way to get it so that Josh Hart is not a liability. Maybe Josh Hart becomes more confident and takes these open looks that the defense is giving him. Because, like you mentioned, the Knicks were literally one of the best, I think top three, right, in the NBA offensively. And it seemed like midway, after the All-Star break pretty much, teams just said, hey, you know what? Josh Hart's out there. He doesn't want to shoot. He wants to hesitate. Let's put our center on him, and we'll just leave our center floating around. And Josh Hart would have probably, 10, 15 feet of space between him and the center, and he would not want to shoot that three-point back. He wouldn't even step in and take a midi. So, that was something that was frustrating to me. I'm sure it was frustrating to all Knicks fans. I'm sure everybody had a complaint when it came to that. But it's going to be interesting to see what Mike Brown does. I mean, the way I see it right now, I think Mitchell Robinson ends up starting and Josh Hart goes to the bench. But even in that scenario, I think it's a luxury to have somebody like a Josh Hart coming off the bench for you.
Yeah, he did. He did go through these highs and lows where he would be hesitant in terms of his shot selection, and we would just say shoot it, Josh. But look, he's a low career 3-point shooter, 33%. I mean, it's not what you want. And when he's on the court, teams just don't respect him in that regard. And it's going to be like, do you think the bench needs Josh Hart, or do you think the starters need Josh Hart? Because at the end of the day, he is an elite rebounding guard. He
Yeah.
plays with intensity, gets the extra possessions. And what team needs that? Is it the starter team? Is it the bench team? How does he fit alongside the new additions? Crowded. It's kind of crowded now, you would say,
Yeah.
right? So he's on a pretty good contract. Do you want more shooting from that spot? Right? Do you want to play Jalen Brunson with more shooters? There were times last season when the Knicks would use him as a ball handler and have him bring him the ball up the court, and
Yeah.
at times that didn't even work out. So he is the glue at the end of the day. We love Josh Hart, but it's going to be a new system, a new coaching staff. And I mean, Mike Brown, you've seen the videos of him practicing. Not practicing, but like running up and down the court with his time in Sacramento, like yelling at the guys. So it's going to be a different change for the New York Knicks, because it was reported that Tom Thibodeau really was laid back in practice. He really focused during the games, and really focused during the games in terms of using the players' exertion. And I'm struggling to find the words, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Does he start, or does he come off the bench? I think both of you are under the impression that he comes off the bench. You bring in Mitchell Robinson, and you bring him in with Clarkson. You bring him in with Yabusele. I think that bench unit would really benefit from having Hart off the bench.
I think so too. It'll give him the opportunity to obviously do what he does best, right? Push the pace, rebound, offensively, defensively, and attack the paint as well. I mean, I think those are. I mean, the thing is, you can put Josh Hart anywhere, and he's gonna succeed, right?
Yeah.
His game just translates enough. It's just where, in my opinion, it's just where is his confidence level that if he gets the ball and it's not a corner three, is he gonna take that shot, right? Make it or miss it. I feel like you got to take that shot regardless. They got to honor you. And Josh Hart, I don't think he's a bad shooter. He's streaky. You could say he's streaky, but he's hit some big clutch threes for the New York Knicks in his time here. So it always confuses me when he's like hesitating to shoot. He's more than capable, but I don't know. It's just like a mental block or something, But
he does have those mental lapses. Like, you remember game 3 in Detroit where he fouled, I forgot who was it in the corner, and they didn't call it, so it worked out for the Knicks.
Yeah.
And then, he had a mental block where he, ran the inbound play. He traveled before even inbounding the ball. But yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that was pretty much my point. Just, I don't know if it's just a mental thing or just the simple fact that he's like, I'm not a great shooter. I'd rather get this ball to JB or Mikhail or something. I don't know. But whatever it is, hopefully he comes into this season, I know he's going to be working on his three. I know he's going to be working on it because I'm sure he hears it from all fans and whatnot. They've talked about it on their show plenty of times. He's aware of it, But again, it's just kind of weird. He's more than capable of shooting the three ball decently, and he just, for whatever reason, just decides to hesitate.
Does his elite offensive rebounding and cunning offset the lack of deep shooting enough? Do you think?
I think
he's a really good rebounder.
Yeah, I think it does, but it depends on the situation in the game, right? Because it's no secret the Knicks wanted to play 5 out, and when you have Josh Hart out there and he's hesitating, that kind of kills that system, right? Brings it to a complete halt. But on the flip side, on the defensive end, he's somebody you want out there because he can get you a stop. He can get you a steal, So it's kind of like, man, that's a tough one. Because, again, you want him on the court for defense and you want him on the court for offensive rebounding. But, the offense is just questionable at times. And something I noticed late in the season with Josh Hart, he seemed kind of timid when it came to attacking the rim like he normally does.
Hmm.
He wasn't driving into the paint trying to draw fouls or attacking the way we normally see him. It's kind of weird. I know he was banged up. I know he had an injury in the playoffs to his shooting hand as well. So
Still recovering
maybe
from that. I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that had a part to it, but this guy is as tough as nails, so it's kind of weird seeing him shy away from contact late in the season.
Bottom line is, he does many things really, really freaking good
Yeah.
for that
Yeah.
equate to winning. Like winning, he's a winning player, right? Um, so Mike Brown has to come in here and figure out how to utilize him in a way where it's not excessive, like Tom Thibodeau utilized him. We
Yeah.
spoke about the minutes earlier, Chris. Tom Thibodeau. There was times where Tom Thibodeau refused to take him out of games. It was too much Josh Hart. It was just too much Josh Hart. I was going
Yeah.
post games. I was like, Josh Hart 25 to 30 minutes, cool. I'm cool with Josh Hart 35 to damn near the entire basketball game. I am not cool with. Like, it just cannot happen. I know he does so many things on the court really well, hustle, rebounding, but the spacing issues just kill the Knicks in terms of, their offensive sets because teams just don't respect them, and that's clogging lanes
Right.
for Brunson, clogging lanes for Karl Anthony Towns. So I think it's beneficial if you scale back his minutes a little bit, and then he'll return that in high regard because
Yeah.
30, 35, 40 minutes, Chris. Nah, I don't want to see that this year. I'm telling you right now. I don't want to see it. I'll be
Yeah.
upset. And I love
No, and
Hart.
that's a good point. I mean, if you really think about it, that kind of in a way
He played
solves either
37 and a
scenario.
half minutes last year a game.
That's a lot.
Led up there in minutes per game. I
Yeah,
think he was second or third. So that's a lot.
that's a lot. That's a lot. But in that regard, like you mentioned, if you cut back his minutes a bit, look, and there was games where he was out there playing 40 minutes or whatever, and you could tell he was gassed, but him being the player he is, he's not going to say no and he's not going to sit down. He's going to go out there if he's given the opportunity to be out there. But in again, if you cut down his minutes, maybe you can still start someone like a Josh Hart. You take him out, there's more times for you to have more shooters out there. And
Yeah.
when you bring Hart back, he's energized, he's rested, he can give you more in short bursts, which sometimes is better than just, having to have a guy out there playing, running a marathon basically and just choosing his spots, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Josh Hart in that regard can be a little bit more of a disruptor in a sense of, being more rested, playing less minutes, but more high intensity play when he's out
Yeah.
there in the shorter amount of time. So that's an interesting way to look at it too.
I think that was more of a Dibs thing. I don't think Brown will go down that route. But we shall. I mean, when the Knicks acquired Hart, he was at 29 minutes, and that was like mostly off the bench. And I think that's like a sweet spot. Like, okay, 25 to 30 minutes. That's good. I mean, now
Yeah.
you have the thing about this is now the Knicks have a really good bench, Chris. I mean, really good bench, right? At least we expect it to be a
On
good
paper, at least.
on paper, right? On paper. I mean, I'm excited for Brogdon if he makes the team. Shamit, Yabusele, Clarkson. So a little bit crowded, but training camp figure it all out. But anything else
Yeah.
you wanted to say on Joshy, Chris?
I'm expecting a good, season from Josh Hart. Look, he's gonna bring it every night. I think he's
Yeah,
on board. Obviously, he loves to be in New York, and we love him back, right? Heart and soul of the
yes,
team.
sir.
I expect nothing but good things coming from Josh Hart. Even though at times he might drive us crazy by not taking a shot here and there, but look, he does way more good and he does the dirty stuff that not many other players do. So that man is basically a walking triple double waiting to happen. So, you know, he's gonna have a great season. He's gonna have a great season.
He's in the second year of his extension, $19.4 million this year, 12% of the cap. Next year he's at $20 million, and then in 27, 28 he has a club option. So pretty good contract. It is. Could be tradable. Um, I don't expect that to happen, but
No.
I'm just saying, could be tradable. But I think this is the year, guys. I really do. But yeah, that was Josh Hart. More of the same from him. Scale back the minutes a little bit. Heart and soul of the team. You guys know what Josh Hart is about. I know a lot of Knicks fans, were screaming at the high heavens. Please stop playing him 35, 40 minutes, sometimes damn near the entire basketball game. I don't think that's going to happen this year. I think we'll get it figured out. All right, that's the Josh Hart player preview. If you're new here, we're doing a player preview for every single Knick. Just hit the middle of the screen right here. The player previews will be up. Chris is pointing at the wrong direction. But if you're new here, we're doing a series, season 2 of the Knicks player previews. The Knicks Nation hats are coming soon. Chris is rocking the Gotham black. I have the Garden blue. Be on the lookout for those soon. I'm Anthony from the Knicks Nation.
I'm Chris.
We'll catch you next time. Peace.
Peace.